My family forced me to marry my dead mother's husband. They said it was my spiritual duty because leaving defenseless men without a woman to take care of them is a mortal sin. My stepfather, Rick, was the most disgusting human being I'd ever encountered. My mother had married him when I was 12 years old, and from day one, Rick would walk around our house in his underwear making crude comments about my developing body while demanding that Mom and I clean up after him like personal servants. He never worked a day in his life, spending his time drinking beer and harassing people online while Mom worked double shifts to support his lifestyle. Whenever I tried to talk to her about him, she'd just sigh and say, "That's just how men are, Katie." When Mom got diagnosed with cancer, Rick immediately started talking about how I'd need to step up and take care of the household while she was sick. I thought he meant extra chores, but it was my grandmother who spelled it out for me. "Obviously, you'll have to marry Rick so he won't be alone when your mother's gone." At first, I thought it was some kind of sick joke. Then I found out that my grandmother herself had to do the exact same thing when her mother passed. "It's our duty," she explained. "Men are feeble. Only a monster would leave a man without a waif to take care of him. Are you a monster, Katie?" The day my mother died, I was 17 and still processing my grief when my grandmother announced that the wedding would happen within the month. She reminded the whole family that abandoning Rick would be like murdering him slowly through neglect. Rick sat there grinning while she detailed how I would move into Mom's bedroom immediately and begin fulfilling all her wifely duties, including cooking, cleaning, and providing him with physical companionship. Rick cornered me when I was on the way to the bathroom to be sick and whispered that he was looking forward to teaching me everything Mom had learned about keeping him satisfied. My family had already planned the ceremony and purchased a wedding dress in my size, treating my horror and revulsion as typical pre-wedding jitters that would pass once I accepted my sacred duty. Rick kept telling everyone how excited he was to have such a young and fresh wife, and my relatives praised him for being patient enough to wait until the wedding night to claim me. I spent every night throwing up from anxiety while Rick would knock on my bedroom door and remind me that soon there would be no barriers between us. He would follow me around the house making disgusting comments about our upcoming wedding night and how he was going to break me in properly, just like he had with my mother. With the wedding day drawing closer and no way out in sight, I knew I had to do something drastic, and that meant Rick had to die. I started acting like the perfect submissive wife to be, cooking his favorite meals and praising him constantly, but secretly I was mixing bleach into his beer and antifreeze into his coffee, all while smiling sweetly and asking if there was anything else I could do to make him comfortable. Rick was so thrilled to have his teenage bride-to-be waiting on him that he never suspected I was literally trying to murder him with cleaning products and rat poison mixed into everything he ate or drank every single day. But Rick eventually realized what I was doing when he caught me pouring drain cleaner into his morning coffee, and he completely lost his mind with rage. He started screaming about how I was trying to kill him and that he wasn't going to wait for the wedding ceremony to claim what belonged to him, grabbing me and trying to drag me into my mother's bedroom. I fought back as hard as I could, clinging to every surface in the kitchen. Pots and pans came crashing down around me as he tried to pull me out my hair. And all that noise was exactly what alerted the mailman, who had come to deliver a package and heard Rick screaming about forcing himself on his 17-year-old stepdaughter. The mailman was a military veteran who recognized an assault in progress and immediately called 911 while Rick was still ranting about his legal right to write me as his future wife. When the police arrived, Rick was so confident in his family's religious authority that he actually explained the entire forced marriage tradition to the officers, bragging about how he was going to teach me proper submission. The officers arrested Rick for attempted sexual assault and several other members of my family for child endangerment, and I was placed in a foster home until I turned 18. I'll never forget that a man who was supposedly so helpless that he couldn't survive without a wife was somehow powerful enough to drag me through the kitchen kicking and screaming. My family never saw the irony in that. They all disowned me, and I'm completely on my own now. I have to start over from scratch, and every day I realize how much I don't know about the real world because I was locked in their twisted reality my whole life. But I'd rather be alone than be Rick's child bride.